They saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox. Greetings one and all, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he, him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. Let's go ahead and go around and say hi to the folks we have with us tonight. Find out who they are and who they are playing, starting with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello, I'm Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Shah Gamelon, also she, her pronouns, who is an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries.
Excellent. And now let us head over to Wilde. Hello.
Hello, I'm Wilde. I use he, they pronouns, and I am playing Shantano, an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
Excellent. And now finally we shall head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, but my character, Mac the Husk, uses they, them pronouns. They are an established enthusiastic of the Order, the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits.
Excellent. All right. And we shall now, once again, as always, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. And at any time, you can type !ISCW to see the content warnings. And I shall go ahead and put that also in rotation because I forgot to do that before we started. But I'll do that in a moment. Let's see. Where am I? Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. Let me go ahead and put the thing into the rotation on me trusty timers here, just so that I do not forget. And there it is. Okay. All right. So, it's been a little while. As unfortunately as we have entered that dangerous zone to all role-playing games known as the fourth quarter of the year. There will be we may be a bit spotty during this quarter of the year as people have these, apparently there are these real, quote-unquote, real-life obligations that people have, from what I hear, where they have, like, lives and families and things of that nature. These concepts that I've heard of before that sound to me perfectly reasonable, but it is a thing that comes up. So alas, we're missing a couple of folks at the moment, but we shall persevere. We shall persevere. Let's see. The things that happened last time I believe took place entirely in the observatory, if I remember correctly. Shah appeared from the gray after Vor had disappeared into the gray because she had just caught the tail end of one of Aroshka's memories, at the end of which she got a tiny glimpse over the edge of paradox, which you may note is a title of some significance. Perhaps it's a thing of significance. We don't know. But that concept sort of went in there, and so Vor dashed out. Mac, of course, still had to struggle with that. There were, I believe when Shaw appeared, she noticed that a certain amount of the stuff in the the individual machines, a lot of the individual devices in the observatory are things that are based somewhat on earlier designs of hers, so that was a thing. So Sean needed to sort of kind of take note of that. I believe there was a certain amount of discussion around, sort of what to do, because there was I believe that Aroshka talked to the big telescope for a while, because ostensibly she and a maker named Gilda Morgan built this observatory at some point, she was trying to sort of find things out from the big telescope. The big telescope revealed that apparently, Aroshka's memories some of Aroshka's memories were here because she had put them into a container. That I think was like a time previously, but Aroshka at some point during the last session went and retrieved one thread of memories that was just the thread pertaining to how to operate the observatory, but wanted to keep the other memories trapped in there because they were reminders of a former self that she does not want to know too much about. Also, she had a reason to put the memories away, even if that reason has not been fully expressed as of yet, or discovered as of yet. Let me see. I know that, as I recall, also the other major thing that I remember happening is that Shantanu used the telescope to find a void demon, and it goes by the name of Segeldrach, and was able to locate said demon pretty quickly, because apparently this observatory had pinpointed that location before for some specific reason. It was discovered that actually the demon was out there at the edge of the void, chained up at a place way out somewhere. out at out off in the distance somewhere. That sort of there's a spot. There's a spot in Saturnine that I kind of referred to, or I mean it goes into Saturnine. It's not actually the entirety of it isn't in Saturnine, but it's the unfathomable archipelago. Sort of extends out from there. And no worries, we're working on a few technical things as we speak. No, as this goes on. But so that happened, and then I believe. What do I believe? It's hard to know. It's hard to realize these days. Well, yeah. Shantano went out to have a chat with this void demon, and we're going to be, we're actually to get a piece of it. Shantano's current quest is to get a piece of this void demon that, and bring it back to a true spider with whom they have been in communication with. It's actually kind of a debt that that most of the group has, but Shantano has taken it upon themselves to kind of try and carry that out. So that is what they did. They used they kind of bent an ability that they have that normally have to disassemble themselves and reassemble themselves in another place. They used some of the power of the observatory to get them to that other place. Hang on one sec. And I just need to do a quick little bit of messaging here as we do. Yeah, okay, no, we're good. I think we're gonna be good. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into that visit in just a moment. As Shantano did that, it set up a thing. Hang on just a second. Let me see here. Sorry, we're having we're once again we were plagued with techno demons. Here we are. All right. So we're going to go and visit that meeting, and we're going to see kind of what it is that we have happening in said meeting. So, first off, I need to draw a card to see kind of how this is going to look. I'm just going ahead, and folks, once again, I'm starting the Path of Suns over because it's been a while. So, what have we drawn? Let's see what we've drawn. Let me go ahead and grab that. Ah, excellent. Let me open the appropriate page. So that I may appropriately describe this thing that we have just drawn. And I'm going to go ahead and show everyone the card. This is card number 43, the Rat. Rats are masters of survival. They're hardy, smart, and stealthy. Some rats, of course, get very smart and devise whole new ways of prospering amid humans, literally right under their noses. A few rats learn to adopt human identities through disguise, concealment, and trickery. Humans as a group are notoriously easy to fool as long as you don't overtly threaten them, and rats have no need to do so. The rat is the companion of the Mysteries family. So anyone who has a heart associated with mysteries is going to get a +1 to things they do in this scene. The rat sees much and learns much and keeps those secrets to itself. It keeps to the shadows and in fact is the Lord of the Shadows. Although I do need to check what companions do because I might have to draw another card in a second. I'll find out in a moment. In divination, if one can keep a low profile, success is very likely. If a stronger force presents itself, resist, but do so cleverly and from the shadows, not openly. Sometimes survival is the best one can hope for, but that is the very thing the rat card suggests. No matter what, the person in question will at least survive if they keep concealed. That's very specific. That's very specific. So let me see. This is the companion. This is a companion card. So let me just check on the thing on companion cards. Duplicates previously played card. We're good. There is no previously played card. So that's what we're looking at. So yeah. So Shantano, this the thing is that because you ended up in a very precarious spot, you are drifting on a platform in the middle of space.
Right.
This platform has a chain connected to it, and that chain goes up just a little bit of a ways to this massive being, whom you can kind of see. There's a little bit of light coming. It's total, utter blackness behind this massive being. This being is about, currently, this being is about, I want to say, 20-ish feet, we'll call it. The light that you're seeing, it is there is something far behind you that is generating light. It's this kind of it's this green light that is coming from something behind you. It's not very bright, but it's enough that you can make out certain features of this being, whom you're kind of right in front of. It's very dark in just sort of this. It's got sort of skin that looks like, right now it looks like a slightly greenish tint on it, but it's very dark sort of color, and its head, you see, just sort of has these extensions, horn-like extensions from it that are sort of drifting in an odd way, as though to try to. It's hard to know if they're horns or if they're feelers. They could be a combination of the two. It's hard to say. It has a face. It's wearing tattered sort of clothing that sort of hangs down. It is wrapped up in this big chain. Well, it was, mostly, until a moment ago, when someone disturbed the system keeping it keeping it completely chained up, and it is now working its way free. It's got an arm free at this point, and it is looking down. These glowing eyes are sort of looking down at you. They're sort of these eyes kind of bursting into flame. You see these very sharp teeth as it's looking down. And you don't know if it's about to take a swipe at you or what. But where you are standing right now is probably incredibly dangerous in your current position on this platform. And you see its teeth gleaming. It's in sort of just barely in this green light, and as it sort of moved its head. Is there something you would like to do?
First I want to. Do I know if there's like any sort of following for this demon?
So, you have a certain degree. I think you've had enough time to try to read up on this demon, in the amount of time that we've had, because you have a name for it.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's hard sometimes because a lot of texts have been, there are people apparently working hard to expunge information of this sort. But if this is who you think it is, Cycledrak is one of its names. Another name by which it has been called, and you're not sure if it's this individual or another void demon. They're kind of share the title, but this could be one of the demon lords, the void demon lords, as you're sort of thinking about it, known as the enemy of reason. That is what its preferred title, apparently, is the enemy of reason. And you think that it does, it's, well, you haven't been able to probably done much digging up of there are societies that are into void demons. Your best guess would be probably the Vespertine would probably be a good candidate for that. You don't know if they worship this particular one, or if they have congress with this particular one. But yeah, you think it probably does have followers.
Right.
You don't see any immediately around you, but you know.
Okay. The one thing I can think of that I want to do immediately is use my last ephemera.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be Faces Only Torment the Bereft. Which lets me conjure a mask of any appearance.
Ooh.
And I want it to be like something like a mask that would have markings of the followers of this demon.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. So you need a mask that's going to allow you to fool this demon into thinking that you are one of its followers. And so there shall be a roll involved with this. And in so doing. So this I have determined that this demon's level is 11. They may have certain resistances as well, but we'll get into that when we see what it is. We figure kind of what it is you want to do here. Let me actually let me go ahead and get that pulled up. There we go. Okay. Got it. So Yeah, you're basically going to. It depends on whether or not you're going to be doing anything actively to the demon as to whether or not it does have some resistance to magical attacks, but it just sort of depends on what you want to do here. This you're just conjuring up a mask for yourself, I would assume, and then I think you're muted.
Right. So it's just a mask. It doesn't really have any magical element other than its appearance of whatever I conjure.
Sure.
I guess it's just more to see if I could get them to recognize.
Yeah. That's really what this is about. This is about fooling this demon. Since you are using magic as part of this, though, I mean, I will let you use a second die for this, just because this is, I think. Well, actually, it's an ephemera, right? Is it an item already, or was it already a mask, or is it actually a thing that you're doing magically?
I don't know. It says it conjures a mask of any appearance, and it ends on the next sunrise or sunset.
Okay, let me go ahead and grab that really quick. Hang on. Let me open up this. All the things. Let's see. Ephemera. What's it called again?
Faces only torment the bereft.
Faces only torment the bereft?
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Okay. This might be from a source other than what I have. Yeah, that's weird. It's not showing. Let me go ahead and just go down to let me scroll down to the F's. Just in case I happen to be missing it. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not in my regular PDF of the card, so it must be from one of the other sources. One of the other 9 million sources this game has. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I think mostly these ephemera are meant to be. Yeah, I think these ephemera are meant to be items. A lot of these sort of physically. So I think that it's probably a physical mask that you have that becomes whatever mask you want it to be. We won't include the magic die unless you want to like spend the appropriate thing, the sortilege, I believe, on it to cause that to happen. So right now you're just this is mundane fooling with a magical mask. What would you like to throw at this? Again, the challenge is 11 currently.
Yeah. How about survival? Will that help?
I think it'll definitely help right now.
Survival. How about stealth?
Yeah. We'll definitely give you that right now. So you're down to 9 or better on your roll.
I don't know. I don't know if magical lore would help with anything.
Yeah, because it's helping you in creating that mask and making the mask look the way it's supposed to, I think. So I think we'll give you that as well. So that'll be an 8 or better.
Is this something I can use hidden knowledge on, or is that
hidden knowledge is like a general thing. It's like you spend it and then it's always dedicated to that thing.
Right. Okay. So can I use hidden knowledge specifically towards the demon then?
Yeah, I mean,
is that how that works?
Yeah, that's what it's for. So you could definitely do that. Let me go ahead and grab me actually just open that up real quick just so that I've got the this pulled up here. Excellent. Hidden knowledge, here we go. Yeah. So you need to explain what hidden knowledge you're drawing upon when you use it. You don't necessarily need to elaborate on the specifics, but you do want to consider the generalities. For you to convince a leader to help you. You can justify using the to recall something to blackmail them with, but that might be... anytime a connection would normally come up into play, virtually any kind of interaction action, which this kind of is. Casting a spell, using magical abilities, attempting a mundane. This is basically, you can always use hidden knowledge for the most part. It's like, these, only in these specific situations, it says, and they're very broad categories. And you can only use one Bene from hidden knowledge at a time, so you'll only be able to knock it down one to do that. You're gonna knock it, so that'll knock it down to 7 or better, if I'm counting correctly. But out of curiosity, just for the game lore wise, where do you think what sort of hidden knowledge is this that you have about this demon?
Oh, can I tie it in with one of my skills?
Sure.
Understanding their motive. You know, what the demon was trying to do, lore-wise, or what it's been known to.
Oh. I'm gonna ask you a very important question right now, and so this is important because it's just sometimes you hit on a thing and you have to ask. Are you sure you want this information?
I mean, it's Shantano, so...
It is Shantano. Okay, so... The knowledge you have of where do you think you would have gotten this this hidden knowledge? Just you can make up a thing. I just sort of would like to know where you think you got this hidden knowledge.
Probably the same way, you know, using my dream study, you know, just when, and like literally entering a book and gaining knowledge.
Okay, all right. Oh, there we go. Checked out a book about void demons one day and just sort of went inside. All right. So here is a little bit. So I'll give you a little bit of perspective. But yes. So and you want specifically for it to have told you about his motive so that you can use that as well. And I get that. To knock it down further to 6. So yeah. Overall, in general, and obviously it's not gonna. This book wouldn't have told you its specific plans, but it'll tell you that the enemy of reason is very interested in tearing away. It is quite literally the enemy of reason. It wants to tear away reason from all living beings. Its point is to flood the universe with confusion, to an extent. To an extent, because of that, it kind of will play these games with sentient beings in an effort to lead them down these spiraling paths to everything nonsensical. At least that's its reputation. Basically, the void demons are, as far as you're aware, the void demons all are just basically all about the destruction of everything. But each void demon lord apparently has a different portfolio of things that they want to destroy. And in this case, this one's the enemy of reason. So, do you have... so that'd bring it down to a 6. If you also want to use understanding as motives, which you can now. Anything else you want to throw at this? You haven't used any bene yet. You can probably use a bene on something, I think, probably, if you want.
Sure. Why not? What kind of bene would I use for this, though? Is bene tend to be anything from the qualia section, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking possibly intellect, but let me just let me look at the thing to see if it will remind me. Wait, I have a thing with the pools on it. I'll just open that up, and that will remind me. Okay, yeah. So yeah, anything, yeah, in this case under qualia, because this is a sort of an intellectual action. Yeah, you could go with either interaction or intellect. Yeah, actually, this is more interaction, I think.
All right, interaction it is.
Yeah. Okay, so that'll knock it down to 5. Anything else?
I think that's all I can really use.
Unless you want to use magic, but that's
Yeah,
in addition to what you're using.
I'm afraid to use magic on a demon right now.
That's, you know what, fair. And also that, yeah, and that would also that would, yeah. Come to think of it, that would also knock the challenge back up also, because of he has some resistance to that. Okay, so yeah, right now you're looking at 1 die, 5 or better.
All right. 50-50 chance, I guess.
Almost, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, 5 or better.
All right, D10, right?
Yep.
Ah, dang.
Okay. So,
Nope.
You put this mask on, and this the enemy of reason, Segildrak, looks down at you as is trying to free him, as they're trying to free themselves, and is like, I don't know if I believe that. It's the philosopher, isn't it? You've come to join my camp, have you? I suspect this will be a very interesting conversation, and because I wonder why she sent you, but we'll know the truth very soon. And as it reaches for you, we're going to click over back to the observatory where all hell is broken loose. So, in the observatory, when we were last there, the vessel started to break, had a little crack run down it, and one of the memories was trying to get out through this crack. It hasn't succeeded as of yet, but it's really aiming for it. Aroshka saw that, and I think just basically noped out into the gray. The moment that happened. This was a result of essentially Mac, this was after you had made a deal with the Hunt, and the Hunt sent a large creature that is sort of humanoid and elephantine also, just basically has elephant's features, from the green to come and transport this thing. It stepped out of the circle and had reached down and was going to pick up the vessel, and as it touched it was when Shantano decided to go through, and so that kind of meant the vessel got a little bit jostled and it got a little bit cracked, and so the alarm started going off, and this being, the spirit of the servant of the Hunt, is sort of was thrown back for a moment, just a little bit, just sort of was taken aback by it, and you heard a lot of, you're all hearing a lot of big, what sounds like, so Shaw and Mac are the only ones left in the observatory right now. You hear what sound like a lot of doors slamming shut, a lot of thick big bunker door type things slamming shut, red lights kind of going off, systems having trouble, and it's the two of you and this elephant entity. And what would you like to do?
So if Aroshka's not there to absorb the memory, is it just free floating, or is it going to be redirected in some manner to someone else?
So, are you? Let me ask: are you asking this out loud, or are you just wondering this? Because it's not immediately obvious what's going to happen.
Out of character.
Out of character. It's not immediately obvious what's going to happen with it.
Okay, so Mac is just going to slowly approach the vessel and then look around and just say, why is it always me and you who get stuck cleaning up after our friends in the worst of times?
I think Shah immediately runs over to whatever looks like a control panel and then looks at you and shrugs. And I say, luck, I guess?
Well, this is the absolute worst luck. I don't suppose there's anything you can do to, weld this thing shut so it stops leaking?
And let's see, I'm going to look back and forth between the control panel and the vessel, because it seems like we have two emergencies. One is that we're going to get shut inside this observatory and something is going to go wrong with that. And the other is that the vessel is leaking. I mean, I probably can, but maybe you can stick your finger in it like the little Dutch boy or something while I try and figure out how I don't let the whole thing explode.
So Mac, hand will pass through the memory that's leaked out and then slap down on the crack in the vessel.
All right. Yeah. Now the vessel, the memory hasn't managed to make it out through the crack just yet, but it was trying to. You could tell it was trying to aim at Aroshka when she was still there. So you're just going to kind of just slam your hand onto the crack to keep it in there?
Yes, because clearly he doesn't have any sort of spell to fix this.
Yeah. And there's sort of behind the two of you this I forget how tall. I think we said it was 15 feet tall or something ridiculous like that. This person's just sort of back there thudding around, just confused at all these alarms going off and not knowing what's happening. So let's see. So you want to try to use your hand to stop a memory from leaking out of a magical vessel. I mean, yeah. I mean, we can give that a try. As you're kind of like just trying to make sure that it holds together, so that it doesn't leak out.
Can I make a worse decision?
Sure.
Because I just thought of this. So, Mac is going to fish in his pockets, and he's going to pull out tape and his Testament of Sons, and he's going to use the Testament of Sons hand to slap over the hole, and tape it over.
This can only end well. All right, so Mac is engaging in some quick repairs to this vessel using their Testament of Sons. So I feel as though I feel a roll coming on.
Is it duct tape? Because if it's duct tape, it feels like an automatic success.
I know it would feel that way, wouldn't it? There is duct tape in here.
Yeah. We should also point out, and I don't know if we've ever really established this, but given my level, my Testament of Sons actually has a hidden ability of which I have no idea what it is.
That's true. We haven't... Oh, man, I'm so sorry. We were supposed to figure that out. Well,
it's okay.
Maybe we'll find
out
out
like
now.
This is a good time for
this
something.
Might be a good time to find out what the hand does. Yeah, actually, okay. Tell you what, before I even make you roll anything, I'm going to draw a card. So we can see what's happening. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry, can I make a worse decision?
Always. Sorry, do you want me to shall we talk about the card yet, or do you want to make the worst decision?
No, go ahead. No, I feel like this is pretty much the worst decision.
Oh, okay.
Short of my whole head into the vessel.
Okay. Yeah, that's I think probably a decent fallback horrible decision to make. Let's see. This is going to be card number 7 that I've just drawn and is on the second position. It's green. Wait, is this green on green? Let me double check, because I forget the exact patterns. It's a green card. And let me look at my map of the actuality. It's green on green. It's green being played on the green sun. So that means that any bonuses from it are going to be doubled. So let me go ahead and turn the sun back on, because that's just a thing we do. The green sun is already active. That's good. Okay. There we go. So let's talk about this card for a moment. This is the Relentless Rumor. This card is the Relentless Rumor. Let me go ahead and actually pull that up here. Here we go. So, there is never a real truth in whispered rumors. Searching for authenticity amid the clandestine, furtive words of a rumor is a fruitless task, and yet still we try. We listen. Despite the lack of complete veracity, though, this rumor is relentless. It cannot die, and a living rumor is one not just told and told again, but believed and believed again. Oh, this isn't looking good. Addiction and relentless drives are a part of this. Needs and compulsions are strong motivators, and they never stop pushing. In divination, relentless rumor suggests an ongoing action. If one is hoping for resolution, there's none to be found here. It also indicates that there's something involved, a fact, a person, a device, a spell that cannot be entirely relied upon. So, yeah.
I swear, I feel like your cards are rigged.
They might be. I don't know. It's as far as I can tell, it's magic. So we'll tell you what happens here. The as you're holding it there, and it seems to be holding for a moment, and then the memory seems to seep out and seems to be sucked into the Testament of Suns, and your Testament of Suns now has a sort of a faint green glow to it.
Oh, I feel like the only response to this is to just add more duct tape.
That'll probably do it. You start duct taping the side of this thing. So that's what you're doing. What is Shaw doing?
I am trying to figure out how to shut off whatever like protective system is a problem.
Excellent.
So I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, I guess I need to figure out what's happening. You say there's a lot of doors slamming and there's a lot of bells going off, but it would be great to know what's actually happening. I don't know if that's a separate role from fixing it, but
so the challenge here, which will involve your which I'm just going to combine figuring out the problem and the necessary being able to make the necessary repairs into a single roll here.
Okay.
So the diagnosis and execution of the thing, and I think for you the difficulty. The challenge rating for this is just going to be, I say just, so starting out the challenge rating is going to be 6.
Okay. All right.
So because I mean, they're your designs, a lot of them. So
it's my work, right? So
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So let's see, what else can I add to that? I mean, can I add my maker level or my connection to the Order of the Makers?
Oh, actually, yes, because a maker that you've worked with before was the one who built this stuff. So
okay, well, I have a level 3 connection to the Order of the Makers.
So that'll knock it down to 3.
Okay, great. That's a good start. Then I'll also spend an intellect bene.
Okay. So knock it down to 2.
To what else do I got? I'm guessing metal work doesn't help.
Not for this. No, this is the metal has already been worked.
Okay. Let's see. Battle fans. Just like digging through my inventory here. What do I got? I mean, actually, I'll use my expansive endeavor to spend 2 intellect instead of.
Okay. So yeah, that's
1.
just gonna be like 1 or better.
Take it down to 1, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now I just need to roll, and I roll 1d10.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Thank you, dice.
Because basically you just needed anything other than a 0.
Yes.
So yeah. So
what's going on?
Yeah. So you're looking this over and you're realizing, first off, it's like, okay, all right, I know what that does. I know what that does. I know what this does. Okay. Yes. So, you need to get power back to, you need to get the devices to work with each other again. because it seems like the failsafe. Well, the failsafe isn't going to be too much of a problem. To shut the failsafe off, you're going to need it to be able to actually get power to the console again. And what you're determining is that, you know, that area that you were thinking, that area that's supposed to be right under the main console,
Yes.
where it is that's contained. So you think that there's probably some kind of a conduit in there to that sort of it's got to be there's something in there that whatever it is that's being received from there, right? It's likely from another plane, another dimension, another place. It was receiving something that was making all of this work together, and you think Shantano burned that out when they used this thing as a catapult.
Got it.
So you need to just fix that, and you'll be able to get this working. You'll be able to turn the failsafe off.
So is this like a fuse that's burned out where I just need to flip it? Or is this like a fuse that's completely gone where I need to replace the fuse?
So you're able to kind of find sort of the catches, and you're able to open up the console. And you look down, and it's this. So there's this. The shape it takes, there's this big ring, essentially this kind of this metal ring that looks down into right now nothingness. It's about like this, and there were a couple of gems, it looks like, that have been burned out, that were like sort of contained sort of on the top and the bottom of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That was keeping it. That was basically keeping it charged up and functioning. And so you're just going to need to. You think they're probably. You've been looking around here for a little bit. There are more in here, so you should be able to replace. You just need to swap that out and swap out a couple of other bits.
Okay.
To get it working, and you should be able to get it going pretty quickly.
Then, I mean, if I can see the gems there, then I will hunt around and find gems and put in whatever shapes fit.
Yeah. So yeah, you run, you're grabbing them, you're like ting 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 ting, it's like sort of like, and you sort of get the you have to shave one of them down a little bit so that it fits properly. Sort of flip it around. You realize, and actually, the more as you're doing this, you're recognizing more. It's like, yeah, Gilda definitely put this together.
I imagine that the whole time that I'm working on this thing, I am just bitching about Gilda's ability to do stuff. It's just like this endless stream of, sure, take a design that's really great and really well thought through, and then throw all the craft out the window and just slap it together like it's a collage. Thanks so much, Gilda.
Okay, and so you think you've got it to the point. So Shah's doing this, getting it together. Mac, you have duct taped up the vessel as best you can, and I think Shah is about to probably reactivate this. If you get it to all you have to do, Shah, at this point is flip a switch, and you think it'll come back on again. I just want to check it. Mac, was there anything you wanted to do before Shah reactivates the console?
No. The fix that he applied to the vessel was more of a short-term thing, as in wait till Shah finishes doing what she needs to there before,
You may want to spend a moment. I will say, because of this is it's sort of stomping about. You may want to spend a moment keeping this elephant spirit calm, as it's not reacting well to the klaxons going off. But it's not a major challenge. It's just sort of like it's like looking around like it's getting ready to hit something.
Whoa, calm down, big guy. Don't make it worse. Just, relax. We'll turn off all the klaxons in a second.
I do not like it here. This is wrong. Shah, do you
want a candy?
It's like,
do you want a candy bar? And you'll just hold up whatever the equivalent is of a baby Ruth.
It's like, it's sort of
peanuts.
trying to focus. It's like, and you do mention that it has peanuts, and it's like, if it struggles with itself for a moment, then its trunk comes down, and it sort of will pick it up. Shah, are you going to reactivate the console?
Yeah. I'll say, here goes nothing, and turn it back on.
So for a moment, it's like there's a lot of there's things sort of are reactivating. You're realizing for a moment, as you're sort of redoing this, it's kind of like, it's not exactly like this. I think in modern cinema, the equivalent of this in sort of something like a spy movie, you would have to enter a code, but sort of you're kind of did the equivalent of that by putting things in the way that you put them in the machine, if that makes sense. So that it'll respond to you. So it will basically accept, there's another switch you just need to, another few switches you need to flip to turn off the fail-safes. But as you're about to do that, and you see the power is coming on and the lights are coming back up, you see that there's this flash, and you can see suddenly the where the conduit leads, as what it's connected to suddenly dials into view. Shah. And as you see some sort of indicator that's coming on that says perpetual motion accessed. And you look down into the dimension it's accessing to gain this idea of perpetual motion, so that all the machines will work with each other again. And you see many turning gears. A near infinite number of turning gears. And it sort of will go to different, it'll actually not stay on one particular location, but it'll sort of move. And
Is this
realize, go ahead.
the machine where the foreman is?
Yes, you are realize as you're looking at this, realize pretty quickly that you are looking into the endless machine, the unrelenting engine. I'm going to hop back to Shantanu now for a moment. So, this being is so the enemy of reason is reaching for you.
Right.
Sort of going down. It's like, why would she send you? And it's sort of, are you going to just sort of stand there, or are you going to try to get out of the way?
Let's see. I mean, how much space is on this platform? It's like just enough for me and the demon, essentially, right?
It's a little bit bigger, but not by much. You've got chains that are attached and sort of that's bolted down into this place in sort of the middle of the platform. If you look around, there are a couple of things sort of near the edge of the platform where there are they're not exactly what sort of things would be there? Not much. They don't want to leave him with much. sort of the edges are hooked up a little bit, upward a little bit, so you can't see what's under the platform. Actually, yes. So, but yeah, there's a little bit of space. So you could conceivably try to keep moving and circling.
Right.
But if he gets free, then he's probably gonna be able to get at you.
Okay. Probably gonna be like, well, I wanted to go about this in a more amicable way, but he's going to take out their last coin from murder.
Ooh. So you take that out. As you take that coin out, I will say, you immediately pull back for a moment. Oh my goodness. You have been busy. I didn't think you would become that mercenary, Chantineau. It is Chantineau, isn't it?
And if it was?
For how long I've wanted to have you right in front of me, and now I can't quite get at you. That's very clever. What you need to think about this is that I see if you're wielding that, is that really what you want to be? A bringer of murder.
I mean, last resorts can make a person do anything.
Oh, yes, apparently they can. That's why I'm chained out here, it would seem. Ah. But what if it didn't have to be? Your last resort.
Well, what are you proposing exactly?
Well, it's quite simple. The universe as you know it is a threat, but you've all been made to forget about it. Now, I can't tell you everything. There are structures in place preventing that, but I think I could provide you with some rather valuable insight.
Interesting.
For one thing, don't you wonder how I know who you are?
And if you know that much, I assume you also know the task I'm trying to complete.
Well, I know the task you were trying to complete. Do you even know yourself what your true task is? That I wonder. Your model of the universe has been thrown rather off whack, I'd say. Your model of the soul. Pinning the universe as one. It's gone far off, far away from where it was. Or do you even remember it? Have they stolen that much from you?
Can I use my sing through deception for this conversation?
You may. You're seeing through this. Remind me, and again, because the Invisible Sun has many parts. Remind me what kind of thing it is?
It's just a skill.
I'm going to say that I don't feel as though we've reached a point at which it's time to roll yet, but I will tell you that as far as you, thus far, he doesn't seem to be lying. Also, however, because you know things about this Void Demon from what you've studied, what this Void Demon considers to be, from its perspective, not lying from its perspective, you're talking to the enemy of reason, basically. So, you're going to expect this demon to be able to just turn anything into pretzels. Any logical concept into pretzels. So this presumably is still the portion of the conversation where they want to lure you in, as far as you can tell, perhaps. But thus far, I will say, seems to be in earnest.
Right.
And it's referring to, now, here's the funny part also. The model of the universe, or rather the model of the model of the soul is what we referred to in a previous episode. I can't remember what we talked about with respect to it, unfortunately. I'm just going to come clean on that. But if you remember, then you can pretty much. This doesn't have to be a thing that Shantano has lost in the gray necessarily. This can be something you remember from previously. That there's some work that you're trying to figure out. Maybe something that led you to realize later on that you needed to start fragmenting yourself, or something along those lines.
From what I remember, it's kind of Shantano's reason for seeking out experience to others' emotions was to make themselves whole.
Yeah, okay.
And kind of a realization that change in itself wasn't a bad thing. So you allow them kind of how they became this fractured being.
Yeah.
Just allowing the change to happen.
Yeah, allowing the change to happen wasn't the bad thing. Okay. Yeah, and actually I will say that certain things are starting to also, and I will say certain things from certain memories lost in the gray might line up with things that were applications for things that happened later between that and the war. But so you've got that. Yeah, so those tenets basically are sort of in place. And he suggests. So what the demon is suggesting is that your model of the soul was then applied to the universe. That's what this demon has just implied.
Mm-hmm.
As though you could kind of overlay the two. Is this... I assume this is a topic that is still in your interest.
Well, what exactly are you asking for in return?
Well... perhaps we should start out with a question for a question. Information at first, then we'll see if we can perhaps trade something else. Does that sound reasonable? And he kind of almost spits out the word reasonable when it says it, but
Sure.
in kind of a mocking way.
Well, let's see what you were offering up first. Let's see if what I am receiving is of equitable terms.
Well, what I am suggesting at the moment, we need to see if there can be, if there's a point in trading of goods or services. First, I think there are things I want to know, and there are things you want to know. Shall we start there?
How about we start with the one-to-one. I can give you something of mine, and you can give me something of yours.
What kind of something?
I mean, I'm sure you know. I say as I glance towards his horn.
We're right to it then. Let me ask you a question. Of course, it is your choice whether to answer or to answer honestly, but if you do, I shall repay you in turn by answering a question honestly, if you wish to know it. But before I agree to this, I must know this. Did Aroshka send you here to do this?
Oh, well, I came completely up by my own accord.
Nod slowly. Very well. Is there something you wish to know? Before we make a physical exchange.
Let's keep the exchange of information at a minimum. For that is something that's definitely more variable than a one-to-one.
Oh, you have become more fluid. It's delightful. Very well. Perhaps a later time, should you call out with your question, you have one question. Wherever you are, I will know it. Just call it out to me and I shall answer. In the meantime, what do I want for this? Well, that too is simple. It seems that your arrival has shaken things up a little bit. And I seem to have a bit more room here now. It's entirely possible that in a few moments I shan't be on this platform anymore. I will give you a tendril, and all I ask in return is that you not stop me. Do nothing to stop me from leaving this place. If I have your word in that, I shall give you this.
Am I able to tell just how loose these chains are?
So, yeah, kind of looking it over. Yeah, he's probably going to get out within the next... If he keeps struggling like he was, he's probably going to get out within, like, the next minute or two. He's not struggling right now because he's trying to have a calm, reasonable discussion with you. But, yeah, it's not going to take him long.
From things I've read, what kind of havoc has this demon caused in the past?
So, yes, there have been plagues of madness that this demon has been credited for. So it's hard to know. so could cause a certain degree of havoc potentially. There's There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit this demon could conceivably do, depending on what they decide to do. That was a very long time ago, though, so who knows?
Could do that. With a slight modification. Instead of just giving it to me, replace it with a part of me.
Okay. We have reached a point at which I feel as though some kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to go for that. So I think we've reached the point at which some kind of rolling is going to be needed to tell us how this is going to go. So It's once again this this particular void demon is a rating of 11. He's not necessarily. Yeah, it's even. Yeah, it's an interesting question, really. Let me actually. You know what? The more I think about this, I think actually, because of the nuance of this situation, it might be better if I just draw a card. Because there's more than just that at stake here. So let me actually do that. Because the level of information I need more than I can get from a roll. So here we go. Wow. Okay. Sure, okay. Let me just grab that card. So that's so we've drawn the Watcher, which, you know, the image of the Watcher is basically a person looking out of a big old telescope. Let's see. Watcher. So, the wisdom that comes from taking the time to observe and contemplate before acting cannot be overstated. The Watcher watches, he observes from afar, assessing and contemplating. He records what he sees and analyzes the data. He remains ever vigilant from his vantage point. Nothing slips by his eternal gaze. The sovereign of mysteries, the Watcher is a father figure. He shares his knowledge with those close to him and advises those he deems worthy. The Watcher card indicates that one must pay close attention. Often the next card turned suggests exactly what they should pay attention to, but other times it is a more general guideline. Stay alert. The Watcher presages the involvement of a parental or a parent or parental figure, particularly in the context of imparting wisdom or knowledge. It is often considered a positive card for this reason. Which is fascinating for the many terrible ways one could interpret this card. But good ways too, you know. It should be a positive thing. It should. Let me just yeah, okay. So yeah, a slight modification there. So he considers for a moment. Do you really want to be bound to me in that fashion? I'm not saying no, but I'm just asking. You're muted.
I mean, the binding goes both ways.
Yeah, that it does. And stop slowly nodding. Very well. We shall make an exchange. You do, but still, I must ask you not to stop me from departing this place. Tell you what, if you like, I'll even, if you've a moment, I don't know if you've a way back to wherever you were, but I could deposit you somewhere on my way off, if you like. Somewhere along the archipelago there, perhaps. Closer to land. Your precious physical existence. A long way away right now. You kind of were looking, if at any point you look around sort of behind sort of where the green light was coming from, there is this very distant sphere-looking thing that seems to be the first sort of half-world, the closest one to where you are, that looks like a... It's hard to make out a lot, but there's this green fiery light emanating from it, and there are a lot of sort of what look like... Basically, it looks like a weird sort of shifting circular labyrinth thing is the nearest one. But there are others further in.
How about instead you take me to something I've always, or to an area I've been trying to find, but have been unable to. How close can you get me to the collapsing conundrum?
Well, it's not happened yet. But I can get you to your son where it shall happen. The sun where it shall begin.
And just to make sure I'm not completely doing the universe, Can I use Harulation to make sure it's not like the end of the world?
Harulation to make sure. I'm sorry. What?
I'm not kind of like progressing the end of the universe or whatever.
I'm gonna be a bummer and tell you you can't, because that's our spell. We can only use it together.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that the see in the future thing?
Yeah, that's we're buddies and we studied in school together and we can only do it together.
No, okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
There is a fancy thing of divination you can do with the Sooth deck, but I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I guess, there's a thing where you can, like, if you sort of lay out cards and try to sort of read them and see what's going to happen.
Yeah, if this Void Demon wants to hang out for a second, will you pull some cards out of your pocket and do a quick tarot?
I will tell you, I'm afraid I do have to tell you that if you do stop to do something that long, he's probably going to start tearing at his chains again.
Right. Well, now I'm at the point where I'm like, how much worse can this get? But...
We already spent $2,500. What's another $500,000 at that point? That's what Vor would say.
That's fair. Vor probably has said that.
May as well make it an even million. Hell. Interesting. Just want to look up one thing real quick. Yeah, okay. I think I'll do it.
Alright. So you agree to Segeldrak's terms? Alright. Very well. This first, and then you'll just need only give me a moment. He reaches up, grits its teeth. Actually, he's only got one hand free right now, so he's gonna like sort of do a thing where he pulls the end of it sort of waving down this tendril. And with its claws, tear it off. And you see it's leaking some kind of thing. It comes down for a moment before it seals. And he reaches down this tendril, this dark, wriggling tendril in its hand, which the Void Demon holds out to you.
See Shantano reach into like her chest area, and you hear cracking, and it comes out. They come out with, I guess, a shard of themselves that would be the right circumference to possibly slot in place.
All right. You pull it out and you put it in his hand.
Yeah, there's like, the exchange of one hand to another at the same time.
Yeah, he's only got one hand free right now, so that's all he can do.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm doing it myself.
All right. He holds it up, examining it, smiles, nods. Well, once again with his claws, he will tear into himself for a moment, make a cut, and thud the slice of you into his chest. And you can see this sort of shifting that happens up and down for a moment as he just sort of closes his eyes for a moment. And you slowly starts to smile. And then you see cracks begin to form, this green light emanating from them in him, starting to come from the top of his head downward. And he smiles and he's like, oh, that still be much faster. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. And he shatters.
I do something when he does that?
I'm sorry?
When he shatters? Can I try and do something as that happens if I see him shattering?
Oh, you see him shattering, yeah.
Try and take a piece of his shatter.
Oh, you try to take another piece?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, he's shattering and the chains are dropping to the ground, basically. Yeah, if, you want to try to sneakily take a piece of him without him noticing?
Yeah.
Basically grabbing another piece. Sure. This is versus an 11. As this is. Let me see if there's any. I don't think he has anything that's. Yeah. Nope. He's. Yeah. This is. Yeah. So it's just going to be an 11. So what do you want to throw at this?
I'm guessing stealth, survival. Would searching work?
Let's see. So stealth would work. To bring it down. This I don't think. This is kind of what you're trying to snatch a piece of him as. That's kind of to me the opposite of survival. Searching. I guess if you squint right, we could. Yeah, we'll throw searching in. So yeah, so that'll bring it down to a 9.
There's not much I can actually use. Am I allowed to use stuff from the Certes?
Let me see. So certs, you would be using probably accuracy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Either accuracy or perception, maybe, but I think accuracy is more what we'd need here. So yeah, you could spend an accuracy, and that would bring it down to 8.
The only other thing I can think of would be magical lore. So because I know I'm well familiar with this sort of thing.
I'll give it to you because you are. This is basically he's using a trick that you've been using for a very long time, and this is his first time using it. So I will let you use that to bring it down to a 7.
Yeah, I mean that's all I got, I guess.
Yeah, so basically, you're looking at 7 or better, unless you want to, like I said, unless you want to do a thing to turn it into magic. But then again, there's resistances, so that probably wouldn't be worth it.
I don't think I have any magic that would.
Yeah.
Help it.
Yeah. Or well, I mean, just sort of sortilege to sort of turn it into a general thing. But at the same time, like I said, if you're using magic, then that'll increase the difficulty. So you're probably better off just rolling a d10 for a non-magical thing for a 7 or better.
Sure. Why not? What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
All right. Yep. That's what could go
Okay.
wrong.
So, as he is shattering to pieces, and this thing is falling, you try to sneakily grab a piece. And you grab hold of a piece, and you find your hand is burning. It's like you're trying to grab hold of something acidic. Are you going to try to hold on to it? Oh, holy crap. Thank you so much for the gift subs. We had an anonymous gift subs. Thank you so much. Sorry.
This question is, can I tell if they've noticed me holding that piece?
He doesn't seem to be reacting to it. Actually, if anything, yes, and he seems amused. Doesn't seem bothered at all by the fact that you're holding it.
And I'll just keep holding it.
All right, so just so you're aware, and I'm gonna let me also rephrase this so that I make sure you have the choice here. If assuming I can note to future self, replace the batteries in your mouse. Let's see. You're going to if just so you know, if you hold on to it, you're going to take an injury.
That's fine.
Okay. So, and I mean, then you can try to put it into a pocket or something so that you don't have to continue holding on to it. But in order to hold on to it long enough to do that, you'll need to take an injury. So that'll be one injury. As you're like trying to hold on to this extra piece of the enemy of reason, and as he's sort of, you see him whirling around almost like a miniature whirlwind. The chains dropped, and it's like, and you hear him like, well then, come, let's away. And he'll sort of reach out from the midst of this whirlwind a hand. Do you take it?
I'm not going to not go at this point.
All right. Grabs your hand, and the two of you are off. Hurtling through the void toward one of the suns. And I'm just going to very briefly, if I may, hop back to the lab. The observatory, so that we can find out how things are going to go for just a little bit. The klaxons have stopped, and your elephant buddy has calmed down a little bit. You've got the vessel patched with duct tape. Seems to be working, as far as you can tell. You're muted.
Mac is just going to call out and say, okay, I mean, I think it's okay for now, but I think you could really use your touch here, Shaw, before this gets moved but to the Jenga tower.
Shaw is gazing down into the unrelenting engine. What's happening?
So can you, I'm presuming Shaw understands this, and Djinnaya, am missing the point, but when I let this start grabbing the perpetual motion from the impossible machine, what effect is that going to cause? Like, is that part of why the foreman is stuck there and I am perpetuating his imprisonment?
So that in and of itself, no, that place is too big for it to necessarily be that. The observatory is feeding off of it, if anything. So it shouldn't necessarily, unless it's like some reason why. There's no mechanism that would cause that to happen, as far as you're aware. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
The only reason this would cause the foreman to be stuck there is if it's something that the Midnighters want.
Right. Which doesn't seem likely, given our relationship with them so far. Okay. I guess I'm just going to make a note of that as part of the puzzle and let it go forward.
All right. So you go ahead and you finish the... I presume you turn off the klaxons and all of that.
Yes.
So you're making adjustments. You realize, actually, you can move the lens
Oh,
to different parts of the machine if you want.
yeah. Can I find the foreman?
It's going to take you a moment, but yeah, I mean, from where you're standing, yeah, I mean, this place you think might be able to look at any spot that given time. The observatory should be able to look anywhere, but I mean, the conduit is what makes it work, so this is very basic, aside from the fact that you're looking at an infinite thing. Kind of an infinite plane.
It's a
Sorry, go ahead.
basic impossibility.
It's a basic
impossibility.
Yeah, very basic
Okay,
impossibility.
got
But yeah, no, so you're and yeah, actually, even as you do it, I will say, it occurs to you that the standard for impossible is, for this, it's, maybe the theories are right that this actually does exist on this side of paradox. Apparently, this is what they've been talking about. That part of, at least, that maybe this machine or this plane might exist, or at least maybe it's accessed through the blue. You're not sure. There are all manner of sort of theories whizzing through your mind right now, but you realize, sort of, as you adjust, and you try to find sort of, you don't look down into the abyss of the whole thing, because that'll be too much. Sort of pull back, and you find you lock from area to area, almost like looking at different security camera feeds for a second as it clicks from thing to thing to thing, and you will see that this conduit is from a rather specific point that you can kind of shift. You're shifting the location of the conduit, actually, where it's pulling from on the machine as you do this. And so you do pull the conduit over to where you saw that work table, and you can see the foreman. I'm going to go ahead real quick. I'm going to draw another card. Because we need to see how he's doing. Okay. Let me actually also, let me turn off the, we're no longer under a specific sun. Let me go ahead and turn that off. Oh, holy shit. Okay. Hang on. Let me go ahead and pull up the card that I just drew. Hang on just a second. Let me go to that. Wait, no. There we go. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I forgot to transition that. All right, that's all right. Yeah, that's the devil. That I've just drawn. Hang on a second. Let's get over to where that is. I don't think we've had this card in a little while. The nemesis of secrets is the prince of lies, the devil. Of course, there are many devils. Their commonality is their need to corrupt the world around them. Charming, sexy liars that seek to draw mortals into their own evil. Devils don't kill, they talk, they don't destroy, they tempt. The term devil stands apart from demon in that way. A demon is typically a relatively unintelligent engine of violence and destruction. Devils are far more insidious. Divination. This is most often a sign of danger, but its interpretation can focus more on the devil's tools than his aims. Charm, persuasion, and honeyed words. But beware the sincerity of such things and the lies they conceal. In a more straightforward reading, the card represents the lure of seduction, either literally or figuratively, in the seduction of evil. Making easy choices can be seductive, but that way lies real danger. Here's what's happening when you find the foreman. There is a being in the room with him. That being looks kind of like a not entirely corporeal creature. It is a dark being that is hovering there, and it has kind of glowing eyes. A lot of these things have glowing eyes. A lot of these strange eldritch beings. It's very It's one of the top accessories to have in Unfathomable magazine. Has sort of glowing eyes, and it looks like a person carved out of onyx, basically. Not a lot in the way of features that you can see. And just sort of hovering there. It doesn't really, and it's sort of its base, instead of like it doesn't have fully manifested legs. It just sort of tapers down, and it's kind of hovering there. Not exactly between you and the foreman, but it's got its back to you. The foreman is kind of facing you. And it is sort of reaching out with this kind of a lash. And the foreman's like gripping the sides of the chair that he's currently in. He looks like he's not doing great. But it looks like something has been applied, and so he's like, and you can sort of hear, you can kind of very tinnily hear what's happening in that room. And he's like, no, it's almost finished, all right? No, it'll be fine. It's almost done, okay? Will you cut that out? Look, I've done everything I can. I don't know where I don't know where it is, all right, in here. I've looked all around here. I can't find it. I've finished building the helmets. That'll have to do, okay? That's all I can do here. There is no way. This place is infinite. There's no way I'm just going to stumble across. And he looks and he locks eyes with you. And you hear him say, "Oh, shit." And I think that's where we're going to close it for this week. That seems like a decent stopping point for us.
Oh,
I
no.
like this.
You know, I felt like I made a terrible decision for my character, but somehow, some way, everybody else managed to make even worse ones today. And I'm okay with that.
Do you know that yet? I mean, do you know that? Do you know what happened? Whatever happened to make your hand glow? Pants out, like, do you know?
I think that whatever happens to my testament of sons will have very little impact compared to, I don't know, letting a void demon loose or messing around with an infinite engine. Let's talk about our scales here.
All right, fair.
It's like Roshka and Vor are going to come back and be like, "What happened?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Apparently they were the responsible ones all along. Who knew?
I feel like I'm going to have to up my game and do something bad on the endless stairs or something.
I don't think anyone ever considered Chantanel responsible.
Plenty responsible.
Fine.
Chantanel's plenty responsible. He's on the faculty of the cul-de-sac.
If you've been part of an HOA or anything like
teacher.
that,
Yeah.
people in authority aren't necessarily responsible people.
They absolutely have responsible. Why else would they have access to the curriculum? Oh.
This is very impressive.
Yay. All right. Well then, we're going to we have once again come to the end of our time for this evening, and we get to do Joy and Despair. Yes, excellent. Yes, we're doing that real quick, so that we can determine if anyone's received joy or despair. So once again, I'm going to go in our standard order. So Djinnaya, do you think that Shah has received any joy or any despair today?
I feel really solidly that Shaw has a despair right now. Like, really solidly.
Feeling the despair there. Okay, all right. Now let's head over to Wilde. Wilde, do you think that Shantanu has received a joy or a despair today?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. Because on one hand, apparently I've started down 2 different arcs in one go. On the other, I am now traveling with a demon.
Yeah. I was going to drop you off. Probably won't be too long.
I feel that the way the story went, that we should just award him both a joy and a despair. I mean, there were serious complications that are going to arise from this.
I am technically 90% done with our mission.
You're doing really well.
I mean,
look at you being responsible.
With the way things are, with the way how nobody ever remembers anything, it's quite possibly no one knows why they were chained up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to the list of questions I'm gonna ask Jaren the next time I summon.
Yeah, that's fair. This will be a long conversation. Entirely might be. I don't know.
I'm just gonna say for purely selfish reasons, it's a joy.
Oh, okay, sure, absolutely. Congratulations! You've been doing the things, absolutely. Cause it's a very joyous occasion. So, Anino, do we feel as though Mac has gotten a joy or a despair today?
I feel like a despair is warranted because he had to solve a problem that is well out of his purview, and his only solution was to basically stick his Testament of Sons onto it.
Yeah. Quick question, did you leave the Testament of Sons on it, or did you pick the Testament back up before you duct taped the thing closed?
No, what happened was I duct taped the Testament of Sons over it so that
okay.
I didn't feel like the duct tape would just contain all of the
that's true.
leaking memories. So
That's fair. No, that's completely...
I put the Testament of Sons there.
Complete.
So now you just have to carry this vessel with you wherever you go.
Yeah. That's all.
Well, I mean, I thought it was only going to hold for like 10 or 15 minutes because, I thought Shaw was going to basically, fix the klaxon thing and then be able to come over and weld it shut and then we'd be all gone. I just didn't expect Shaw to go into the impossible engine or infinite engine.
I mean, I didn't go there.
No.
Kind
Not
of.
there.
Really? Sorry.
You just got a direct conduit to it, that's all. It's completely different. Awesome, okay. So, we are now up to our outros. We're going to go ahead and go around. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, any final thoughts you had about this session, plug anything you like, etc. And we shall start, as is our wont this time, with Anino.
Hello. Hi, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Tomorrow I'll be on the Leave the Tail channel at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for Mutants and Masterminds. And then over on the Wandering Society channel, that's a Wandering SOC now, on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Sentinels of the Multiverse. And then back over to that channel at 1 p.m. Saturdays for Scion. And then we're back here to closely feel the consequences of other people's reactions and actions.
Yes. Any final thoughts about this session?
Yeah, I know a couple of episodes back I said that I felt like it was a little too easy for us, and now I feel that, we're back to that underdog side of things now, which I feel is wholly appropriate, yet inappropriate.
Here to serve. Excellent, excellent. All right, and now we shall head over to Wilde.
Yes, hello, I'm Wilde, at Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. And aside from here, you can catch me here again on Thursday for From Sunken, starting this next week. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
You can catch out my awesome fisherman ex-whaler named Ahab Ishmael. That is not a reference to anything at all.
Oh my god. Is that actually what you're going with?
That's the name I gave.
Oh my god. Alright. Well. Awesome. Any final thoughts about the session?
Yes. I allowed the dice to control my actions, and I deeply regret everything. Oh, I should have known nothing good would have come from trying to do anything around a daemon.
It is a bit of a slippery slope. It's a bit, admittedly. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You helped each other out. It was great. Teamwork.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, and finally, over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya. You can find me at Djinnaya everywhere where internets have names. But I'm not. All my games are offline right now, so you can't watch me play any other games because they're all secret. Okay, and yeah. Well, this is not really where I thought tonight was going at any point. I feel like I need to go back and watch over a year worth of episodes to try and fill in all the details. And two, I'm very concerned. I was so sure. I was like, oh my gosh, here's Shaw's moment to like right that wrong in her heart of walking away and leaving the foreman in the machine. Nope, should have just flipped that switch and walked right away. That's exactly what I should have done. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where it all goes.
The one thing I will mention, because I did go back and watch that part of that episode again from a year ago when you went into the machine, and the one little bit of a thing I guess I will leave you with here is that it probably now makes a little bit more sense why the foreman was concerned about either the Midnighters or whoever they are that are keeping him imprisoned. Trying to harm you and Aroshka.
Yep. Yep.
He was trying to hedge against that there in that place, very specifically. Awesome. All right. Well, and that I think leaves me. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. Also, yes. Oh, okay. One thing I actually am going to mention here, something that you may have been noticing, is that Anino's had this charity going on, and apparently you hit your 1,000K, your 1K goal. It looks
what?
like
Really?
Yeah. It's yeah. We Melissa just said so. Let me see here. Yes.
Holy shit!
You made it. Awesome.
Oh, I don't know who donated that amount, but okay, I guess we did.
Holy crap. No, awesome. No, that's yay. Very cool. Very cool. Congrats on that. Man.
Thank you.
Excellent. But for how long are you keeping that running? Is it going to be running for a while, or is this an October thing?
No, it was just for October, so I think tomorrow will be the last day.
All right, cool. So, if anyone else wants to contribute, you've still got one more day to click on that link and go and give to a very good cause, Refugee and Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services. Very freaking important right now. So please do check that out. But that's wonderful. Awesome. So, what's happening here? So, as previously mentioned, the next thing that's coming up officially on this channel will be Thursday nights. We're starting our sort of anthology campaign of Sunken, run by Sarah. As has been described, Wilde is in it, and I'm in it, and we have a couple of other folks as well, whom you may recognize from various places. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun, dying over and over again on the ocean. It's going to be glorious. Ocean horror. I can't wait. So we've got that coming up. It's based on the Trophy Dark engine, for anyone familiar with that, with certain modifications from what I'm given to understand. So that should be really cool. And then, of course, Saturdays, we have more of this. So feel free to come back and see where it is this spiraling path leads us. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's when they...
I feel like it's downward. It's leading us downward.
It could be. I don't know. Let's see what happens. This just was... honestly, I will admit, I was just sort of waiting for folks to get back in on some of those personal stories, and the thing, and we're there, which is awesome. And so we're gonna see what happens there. But when we hit the end card, we're gonna send a raid over to somebody. I was so giddy I did not even look and see who's currently out and about right now. There are a few places that are doing things right now. So let's see, Nerds with Dice, Happy Capster, the Cantrip Cast, Milady Saito is doing stuff. Dead Aussie Gamer, haven't rated them in a while. We'll see. It'll be probably one of those. I'll figure that out after we go to the end card. So stick around if you would like to hang out and say hi to them with us. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.